feel today? Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. And let's go do that. And let's go do that.
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. And let's go do that. And let's go do that. It's a wrap. Game over. Hey, we here with the HBCU Stroll. Man, I tell you what, this weekend was a big weekend, not only just in college football for black coaches, and we'll definitely get to that because I got a special guest, a young coach that can get after it, but we're going to get with him. First, I want to just say hello to everyone and the State Fair Classic this weekend, 55,000. I want to thank Al Walsh for all the hospitality, the things he do. He's been handling that game for 45 years. And just to go over a couple scores in that game against Prairie View and Grambling. Of course, everybody knows now that Prairie View was the victory at 34-14. Southern all over Pine Bluff. Coach Dooley got things back together, 59-3. Texas Southern, man, come on. My alma mater got to get it together. Lose to Alabama State 16-13. It was a defensive fest. Great job again by Alabama State. FAMU is a winner over Valley, as everybody knows. Valley's offensive coordinator is no longer there. Coach Dancy is trying to put it together. They fall to 0-5. Let's hope they come back next week and get a victory. Alabama A&M finally got in the win column, beating Bethune-Cookman 35-27. As everybody knows, Jackson State was off. It's time. It's time to bring my guests on. Lane College hadn't had 3 winning seasons in 30 years, excuse me. This man has taken over the program. He's in his 3rd year of coaching. Last year, he had a winning season. This year, he's coming at it. He had Tennessee State this weekend, which we all know is a Division I FCS school, one of the premier black schools in the country, bar none. They play in the Ohio Valley Conference. And Lane College, Division II, in the SIAC, coached by Coach Brown, went down there this week, and defeated a Division 1A program. And Coach, how you doing? I know you're on cloud now because I'm on cloud now for you.
Hey, I'm doing great. You know, I'm about as on cloud 9, space, Mars, whatever. I'm still on it. So, you know, I want to give all the honor to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And, man, it's outstanding. To him, he get all the glory because he made it happen for us on the big stage.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man, that's so true. Shout out to your staff. Shout out to your players, the trainers, your support staff, the athletic directors. This was a big win. And like I told you when I called you after the game, that I don't know if you know, it's bigger than just for Lane. It's big for me. It's big for Doug Williams, one of your mentors, Melvin Spears, one of your mentors,
Right.
your former school, your alma mater, Grambling State. That I look at it as not only that it was just a victory. I look at it that you showed and demonstrated that you can go through the grind in Black college of being an assistant, being a coordinator, and being what they call a Black college coach and win a big football game.
Yeah, I just want to, my AD, Derek Burrows, he fully has my support. He has my back, him and the president, and I want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to be on this platform. Uh, with all that being said, Coach Williams gave me an opportunity to start coaching 20 years ago. I've been coaching college football for 20 years, and I've seen it all, and I'm a product of HBCU. I went to Graham. I played for Graham. I was in Eddie Robinson last recruiting class, and I played for Doug Williams, Coach Spears, Coach Scott, Michael Roach, and the list goes on and on. Coach Hayes, O-line coach, Sammy White. So I've been around a lot of legendary coaches. So all that, is on the inside of me. That's my heart. That's my brain. And the expectation for us here at Lane is the same thing when I was at Graham. It's to win. The expectation is to win. I'm still trying to chase your record of get 8 games instead of 7 when you was here. So the kids love it. They fight for this college. They love Lane College. My coaches do an outstanding job of coaching and making sure we're in the best position to make plays. I have an outstanding staff. Derek McCall, my assistant head coach, played at Jackson State. Coach Mike Vite, who was down with Pete Richardson when I was playing at Southern as the defensive coordinator. And then I got a group of young coaches. And Jeremy Patterson, Chris Patterson is my O-line coach that was in the CIAA for a long time. I coached against him when we was at Shaw University with Coach Asbury. Anthony Blackman was my defensive back coach, defensive specialist. Right. Then my son is coaching the wide receiver. So he played at the University of Arizona. Matter of fact, his wide receiver coach was the offensive coordinator on Saturday. So, I mean, we have
coordinator for Tennessee State.
Yes, sir. Okay. That was my son, wide receiver coach, when he was at University of Arizona the last 2 years. Yeah. So, we're around it. And if you're smart, you'll adapt. If you don't, you'll die out. And we always can make adjustments within our program, game, day operations. You've been here, whatever you got to do to get it done, you got to do it. So, I just appreciate the college for giving me, myself, and staff and the players the opportunity to represent the Dragons.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Lane College. Of course, I've coached there and what, 1,300 students.
Right.
26 scholarships, I think, or 20 scholarships you have. I know when I was there, I had 7. So I see the progress that you got different administration there that understands what football means to a college.
Correct. Yeah. We only have 26 scholarships, out of the allowed 36. I mean, for us to go up and play a team that has 30 more scholarships than us and compete and play well, it says a lot about our student athletes, about this football team, about our program, and about the love and the pride that they have amongst each other. They're resilient. The pandemic, a lot of people say the pandemic hurt them. It made our team strong because we bonded more together as a unit. And it's all about family for us. And that's the way the kids go out and fight.
Yeah. Going to school at Lane in Jackson, Tennessee, compared to Tennessee State, former powerhouse, last team, 98, 99 football team to finish number one in the country, HBCU, 63 scholarships that they can chop them up to 85 guys, can be on some type of
Right.
money, uh, high profile coach, or should I say former NFL player in Eddie George. He has NFL coaches, pro coaches, Division 1A coaches, all there. It was like David slaying Goliath. Did you feel that way when you showed up? We own it this week, cause this black college football coaches time. Let's go at it. Young, you the young and I'm the old.
Well, I'm gonna stay humble. But
Yes,
like
sir.
I said before, the expectation for our program is to win. It don't matter who we play, and our kids believe that. They had the faith. We talked about it all week, and it was a football environment. It was standing room only. And I told the kids, this is what I'm accustomed to, being in this sanctuary with these people watching and doing what we do. And we did exactly what we were supposed to do, and that was to win the game. The kids played hard. They gave us everything they had. I mean, you know, I see a kid make a mistake on film. I can't be mad at him because he's giving us his best effort. And that's all you can ask for. Do your best job on every play. And if you don't get it done, we'll fix it on the next one. So I'm just so happy for the players, the coaching staff, and this college. It means so much. We've been so close with against D1 schools. We had Pine Bluff on the ropes.
Right.
We let them out of there on the 1 yard line. So I
And,
told
and, and
myself
that was 42-45,
42, 48, 42,
48-42. Okay.
48, 42. Yeah. And I told myself when I walked off the field, if it come down to 1 yard again, we gonna get it. And it came down to that on Saturday. And the kids made the play.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna be a little messy now because I can. This is my show. Now you ain't playing in the NFL, did you?
No, sir.
You ain't coached in the NFL, have you?
I did an intern with Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Romeo was the head coach. Coach Williams allowed me to go over there for 2 weeks, but he told me, "You coming back now? Don't let them keep you. You coming back." So I did what Coach Williams told me. I didn't stay. They wanted me to stay, and I came back to ground.
Right.
That was an exciting moment, and that's really besides
Yeah.
doing a couple of interns. That's the only NFL
Yeah.
experience that I truly have.
Yeah. But you well known in black college because I know you were up for the Gremlin job. Matter of fact, I was at the State Fair Classic, and I had a guy at your campus keeping me to score y'all game. And as you won the game, I went to the AD. I said, Lane College just upset at Tennessee State. He just dropped his head because you were up for that job. And
Yes, sir, I
and
was,
and
and
and,
the
and
way
the
I
game,
deal with it, the way I deal with that, yeah, it was a lot of emotion in it for me, but the big man upstairs say, "Not right now," not right now, and I had to take that and come on back to work here and finish what we started. That's what I tell the players. We gonna finish what we started. And
right,
did it hurt? Yeah, it hurt. Personally, it hurt. But
yeah,
hey, put my pants on the next day, and I came on back to work.
yeah. Well, Coach, man, is it anything that week? What did you see about Tennessee State? Because you sounded confident about it. It must have been something about what you seen in film that made you feel like, man, this is an even playing field.
I'm be honest with you, Coco, JC. I prayed. I was on my knees praying, and
Okay.
I watched, evaluated that film against Jackson State very well. I watched what Middle Tennessee did to them, and then I watched their very first game. They had 2 weeks to prepare for us. They was off the week before.
Wow.
and I know they had seen every play that we had ran, and I knew that what they was gonna practice. So I switched the game plan up offensively. We made some adjustments on defense, and we did some things that they hadn't seen on film. You know how that goes as a coach. You got to show something different every week. You know, and we made some coaching decisions. We weren't snapping the ball to 5 seconds go on the clock. I mean, when we tempoed them, their guys was getting tired. My old line said, "The D line tired, coach. Come on with it." So
Mhm.
when you get that kind of communication from your players, like, "Coach, we in better shape than them. Let's go to work."
Well,
And you got to believe in the guys that's in between them right stripes that's playing the game. A lot of coaches, some guys don't listen to their players. I'm a coach that listen to the players because guess what? They the ones out there in the trenches. They
well,
the ones out there in the trenches. So we switched it up. We did some things different, and the game plan was executed. And even when they hit the 51 yard to tie the game up to send to overtime, the players came together, put up five, say fifth quarter, Cole, we already got this. So, I mean, it wasn't no doubt in our mind, that we was gonna win. We let Pine Bluff off the hook 3 years in a row. You know, so they were ready.
that was still in your crawl, coach. But some coach,
Oh,
that's what you
it's in my gut.
coach, that's what you call coaching. That's what you call making adjustments. I just want everybody to
Right.
know that HBCU coaches can make adjustments. Have learned from some of the best that went on and played other places. Uh, Coach, it's overtime. You down by one. They score in overtime, go up 27-20. Now you get the ball. Were you thinking at that time when okay, we got to go on the other end. It's our turn to score. Was you thinking that time that if we score, I'm going for two?
Well, I made my mind up in the first quarter that we was gonna go for two. Cause what happened, the first drive we drove the ball about 80 yards. It was 4th and 3 or 2 on like they 10 or 12 yard line, and I elected to go for the field goal instead of going ahead on fourth down where they blocked it. I said, "Wow, okay." So then the defense comes out on the very next play, hits the quarterback. The quarterback fumble. We scoop and score. So I sent field goal back out there again. They blocked that one. So I made my mind up. I was communicating with my son upstairs. I said, "Write these 2 point plays down, highlight them." All right. And I gave him like 3 or 4 plays that we was gonna run. So my mind was already made up. If it got to that situation again, we going for two. It was just a matter. I mean, we scored twice. They had 12 people on the field. The referee blew the whistle. We scored actually on the play before that, and they had no explanation for me why they stopped the play. So I mean, I'm out there at the hash fighting. I'm like, no, y'all
And
can't
this
do
was
this.
in overtime.
This was in overtime.
Okay. So y'all
This was in
scored. They got 12 men on the field. The refs called timeout.
the ref blew the whistle and then told me it was an inadvertent whistle. And I'm throwing my hands up, well, that's touchdown then. He told me, no, no, no. I said, no, that ain't right. And then they tried to bag the ball up. I said, no, y'all ain't gonna do that either. So we came right back. They put it on the 1 yard line, 1 inch, whatever. And we ran it in.
Wow. Wow. I tell you, that was John Merritt. That was the ghost of John Merritt, the former championship coach, who,
I I know
we used to
exactly who
get it
John
done.
Mayer. I'm a historian. I know my history about Black College, and I told the kids who he was. I educated them earlier in the week on who John Merritt was, the classic, and I just educate them. And that's what we got to do. Most kids, because they don't have Black history in schools no more and all that, we have to educate our kids ourselves. And if we don't do it, ain't nobody gonna do it, Coach.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they realized and understood where I was coming from. So when I talk to our team, I come from my heart. I don't write speeches down. I don't do none of that because if you come from your heart, you pure. And the players see that and they'll fight for you. And that's what they're doing. They fighting for us. They fighting for this college. And again, my hats off to our players. You know, we're gonna stay humble, and the goal every week is to be 1-0. It don't change.
Well, and that's the thing that I started this show about. It's about black college coaches, the things that we go through and the things that
Right,
we taught, and why it's so important that black schools protect the fabric of
right,
black coaches because we are invested in the schools.
right,
We've slept in them dormitories, we walked down them streets, we've ate in them cafeterias, and we talking from the heart.
right.
And these presidents and these athletic directors who just showing up at the prom don't understand that we came to the prom with somebody, and that's who we need to dance with. They've gotten us through there, and they take us to the prom, and they go dance with the person across the street who came probably from another high school.
They
You know what I
they
mean?
they go they bring us and then go get Beyonce.
Yes, 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 yes. And I hope some of them tune into this is that it's okay at black colleges. We got to stop trying to be like your Alabamas and your Texas and your LSU's and we need to just be who we are.
Right.
And that's how we were. I mean, the understanding is that we have more Hall of Famers, Byron
Oh,
Brown, in the
easy,
NFL
easy.
than 90% of the other conferences. And here's the crazy part: somebody
That's
had to
absolutely
coach them.
correct.
Somebody had to coach them,
Right.
and that's why when I was telling you, we talked to probably about 1:30 in the morning.
That's
I'm
right.
still tired. You gotta understand, I'm a little older than you now. I need to get my 9 in. But it was important what we were talking about,
Right.
that these athletic directors, these presidents, when they're making these decisions on choosing these head coaches, uh, yeah, it's good, and we all know Deion Sanders, but news flash: there's only one Muhammad Ali,
Hmm.
one Jesse Owens, one Deion Sanders, one of the greatest athletes to ever put cleats on.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I get that. I get that. But we gotta leave room for the Vernon Browns who I take my hat off to. You got your son coaching with you, and you got two of your sons playing for you.
Yes, sir. I mean,
Can you
it's
talk about that?
hey, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be honest. Something I always prayed for. And I'm gonna be honest. If they wouldn't have fired Doug Williams at Grambling, my son was coming to play for us at Grambling. Once we got let go, I told him, "Hey, choose wherever you want to go and go be great," and he did that. So it's something I always prayed for all us to be together at this level. Letting them have that experience. And it's just a luxury uh, to every day see and be around your kids. And see them live out their dreams right in front of them. So I'm very humble about that. Uh, every coach I had in college, son played for them. Coach Spears' son played for us. Doug's son played for us. Michael Roach's son played for us. Coach Chris Scott, who used to be with y'all, who dynamic D line coach, game changer
Dynamic,
coach,
dynamic.
dynamic coach, dynamic D line coach. He actually was the one that called me. This is my 20th year. He was the actual one that called my house and said, "Hey, OV." My dad answered the phone. My dad said, "Cause we had the same name. You must be calling for my son." So I got on the phone. He said, "You want to come coach?" Cause I had asked Coach Williams in the spring that they need some help. He said, "No, we got it." Cause I was in grad school. I said, "Well, Coach, I'm gonna be here. I'm in grad school. So if you need me, let me know." So Coach Scott called me. He said, "Man, you want to coach? Come be the defensive assistant." I said, "Yeah." He said, "When can you be here?" I said, "I'll be there in 45 minutes." So, Shreveport just an hour from Grambling. I didn't look, Coach. I was so excited. Uh, I didn't even ask Coach Williams how much money I was gonna make. Was he gonna pay for my school? I ain't asked nothing. I just came in there and went to work.
Right.
Came and went to work because I was excited about the opportunity uh, to be a coach. Even though I got an engineering degree, me and Coach Spears probably the only two jokers in the world that got engineering degree as coaching football.
Time out, coach. Time out. I got a civil engineer degree, coach.
Okay, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so at that point in time, I had just got through playing. I was still fresh. I was captain of the team. All the players respected me. We used to make check and call plays out on the field. So when I got in the press box, it was easy for me to communicate with the defensive coaches and with Coach Fields at the same time. Coach Fields, when I got in the box, he ain't never come back up no more. He stayed on the field. And our communication was what you see this series, what's going on, what they doing to me. So once I gave him the plays and what we talked about during the week, he got off the headset and he rolled with it.
Right.
Then I talked to Coach Michael Roach, tell him, hey, they doing X, Y, Z to us. Let's do this. And I don't think I hear Coach Williams saying in my ear, man, I hear you up there calling both sides of the ball. So it's always good, and I say this all the time, you got to have a good set of eyes up in that press box. It is so important. You know, every Batman need a rock on both sides of the ball. And if you think it's all you, that's when you messed up. Because if you don't listen to your help, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in trouble. So we do a great job of communicating on our staff. And I take my hat off my coaches. You know, everybody got egos. But coach, on game day, I don't want to hear none of that.
Right.
I do not want to hear none of that. We're gonna work together and let's get this done.
You know Edward Scott.
That's my uncle. That's
He
my
said,
uncle
he
in
said,
Dallas,
he said,
Texas.
he said, you're looking good, nephew. Great
Yeah,
interview. Tell it
that,
like it
that's
is.
yeah,
Well, since
that's
I
my
met
uncle.
you, you don't do nothing but tell it like it is.
Hey, it's the truth. It's coming from my heart.
I gotta ask you, being a former lane coach, when y'all got back to the campus, did you go ring the bell?
So they almost broke the bill. Hey, they almost broke the bill. I had to tell them, all right, that's enough.
Well, I know. Hey, look, I used to have Jacoby Jones. He outrun everybody.
That's
He
right.
make his plan to get off the bus, and he outrun everybody to the bell.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I just talked to Kobe yesterday, man. We stay in contact. You know, all the former players, man, they pulling for this program, and I talked to
And former coaches. And
and
former
from
coaches. Yeah.
and former coaches, you know, and I keep the. This is not a closed program. We can't close the private practices. No, we don't do that, coach. We welcome anybody who want to come and be a part of this program. We're growing. We have 125 football players on this football team right now. Even though I only have 26 scholarships, we still 25 players. Guess what? They keep showing up to work. They want to be a part.
Yeah.
So, it's our job as coaches to be mentors to them, to lead them in the right direction, and to make sure we have solid game plans for them to execute on a weekly basis. That's our job.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things important, uh, why it's so important again to have HBCU grad coaching at a black college is, we always talk about money and alumni and giving back. And I always tell people, people give money to people.
Right.
And what happens is when we do that and continue to go outside, we lose our tradition. We
Right.
lose our alumni. Some alumni we have that's really giving. Then now here comes somebody from the outside, because when you get people from the outside, the first thing they say is, "Well, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna show them how to do things." When they don't understand that a Vernon Brown know how to do stuff, you know. But then they disrespect that one alumni, then that group gone. Then we never get going. We always treading water about taking our programs to the next level.
Well, one thing about it, us being HBCU backgrounds and educated at HBCU. When you go to a HBCU, the first thing you got to do is embrace their history and tradition. You got to do that. You got to respect. what has been before and what's going on. You have to respect that. And then once you do that and you get an understanding of the layout of the land, then you put your spin on it. But you always got to keep the university, the college first. So you have to embrace all that because it means a whole lot to the alumni that you respect the heritage of the school.
You know where I'm going to go now. I walk you into this one, young boy. Hey, Brownell took the G's off the helmet. Come on, Bernie Brownell took the G's off the helmet, coach.
That's tough for me. And I'm just gonna keep it to me. That's tough for me to see
they out there with black helmets. I'm rubbing it in, coach.
But blood, sweat, and tears. I've been there. I walked them streets. I ate in that cab. I was in that locker room. I was in the old locker room on practice fields. But to see that it hurts me. And I know a lot of my teammates feel the same way. As me being the captain of the team, I can say that. I'm speaking for everybody. It hurt.
Yeah. I somewhat, I had a chance to meet Hugh Jackson, who I think is a fine coach, a fine guy, and I had got his reasoning, but once again, it's just like in my alma mater, right behind me is the Texas Southern helmet, and see that logo right there. Then they go to another logo, and then now we got the same logo as Prairie View have. And I don't have to say why we have that logo. And that stuff stops. That hurts tradition. The only logo I know about is the one that had T with the little S and the little U. Man, that's I just think that I don't think you can go in Michigan and do that. Or Ohio State and change the O, or Alabama and change the A. And that's what it hurts us, man. And once again, I don't want to repeat myself, is that we just tread water as black schools and don't forget about the history like you talked about early, because there's some great people who walk those hallways.
Right. Well, I mean, I said my piece. It hurt a lot of us because when we came to Grambling, Coach Eddie Raw was on the downside, on the back end, and we fought from freshmen. Coach Williams, Coach Spears, Coach Roach, Coach Scott, Coach Sammy White. They didn't go out and recruit a whole bunch of transfers. They said they was going to build this program and start with these freshmen. And that's what we did. And the same thing that we've done here at Lane. We built it from the ground up, from 2018. And these kids are still here. And I took that same formula that we used at Grambling and put it in place here at Lane College. And, you can be anywhere you want. The older team gonna win if they got talent and experience. I have players, my seniors. I take my hat off to them. I tell them all the time, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming back, because they didn't have to come back, coach. They could have went on and left, but they came back, and we agreed to finish what we all started. And we gonna keep plugging. We got a big one this week, Kentucky State. I know we got to stop the dive option. So we got a big task. So we ain't got time to keep talking about Tennessee State. Is on to the next.
Right. When you went into that game, you showed up, of course, and how did the Tennessee State treat you? Did they treat you like, man, it's gonna be a tough one, or did they give you guys some incentive to say, man, these people really taking us lightly?
Well, I mean, we've been battle tested. We went and played South Carolina State a couple of years ago. We played Pine Bluff the same year, and these the same kids. So being in that atmosphere, in that stage, they was comfortable. They was comfortable. Both bands going back and forth and all that. But I told them, when they punch, we gonna punch back harder. When they swing, we gonna duck, and then we gonna jab them. that was the mindset. Every time they have a answer, we got to have another answer. So we did a great job of preparing for each situation. Uh, it came down. They kicked the field goal, 51 yards, and it went in. I was like, wow. So hey, that kicker right, that was major, that man. That guy, that got leg.
Yeah.
So when we went into overtime, we felt good about the situation.
Well,
You know,
well, and by that time, you guys had led the whole game. You went at halftime, up
13-10,
13-10. They came
correct,
out and scored. Then you
right.
came right back and scored. So it wasn't never a time that I guess you just kept your eyes on that clock because you
Coach,
guys
I'm,
was
I'm telling the quarterback, don't snap it to 5 seconds, baby. Let's burn it. Cause we went back old school. I haven't went to a huddle in so long, but this yesterday, Saturday was the day. We went to the huddle, John. We went old
right,
school on the day. We were
right,
going to the huddle, breaking the huddle, milking the clock, you
right,
know. And our best defense was our offense because we were draining that clock, coach.
right, right, which is real good. Well, tell me, we talked before about the black college coach and uh, you know uh, I hear Dion talk about HBCU and different things, and he come up with some great ideals, but most of the things he says and do, of course, and you've been around and you've been coached by some great coaches, as well as you're a great coach yourself that been there, done that, have said that. But how does it make you feel, when we're talking about, there's going to be some job openings, there's some coaches on the hot seat, but then you start hearing all these names, of former NFL players that's been on the couch or have showed up at some football camp. Names are coming up.
Well,
I,
I just want, as a community, for the athletic director and the president to give due process to the guys that have been putting in the work. You know, it's a lot of coaches that's being overlooked. But I want them to be fair in the guys that's put in work. I mean, it's like if you're in corporate America and you working at Fortune 500, they pull up within and don't go outside because the people have earned their rights to be in their position. You know, but when you're at school, people at the top they make decisions. You have to live with them. But it is a lot of great qualified coaches out there that have put the time in and the work in to be in that position.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna stay positive uh, and keep it going.
I have Ahmad say, "Hey, Coach, great win. I believe you coached my son in 2012 at Grambling on the defense, his first year."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I did.
Well,
I did.
let me, again, I don't hate to repeat myself, but I coached. Of course, you can see the Tennessee State there, and then the lane there, and I know Tennessee State, 98, 99 football team. Some of the coaches on that staff are still moving on and coaching. But the bad part about it, and I want to make this comment because I am on the page. They got a 98, 99 championship team that you got guys that came off that team that's coaching today. Some of them coaching Division 1A, some of them coaching in high school. And the sad part about it, Vernon, is it's like that those 2 years are lost years for them. And
Right,
I got my platform, and I'm saying to them guys that it ain't lost for me. I want to continue to tell you guys that you are champions, and no one else has done it like you have. But if somebody was going to win, it was going to be a coach like Vernon Brown, who came up just like you guys came through. But fortunate for Vernon, he's got an opportunity to show the people that there's some great coaches that come from out of HBCU. The things that happened to Doug Williams. Great coach,
right,
HBCU. But what
right,
happens to guys like Doug and Melvin and stuff, it gets into a personal thing between the administration and the coach.
right,
And
Right.
we as leaders and we as black people and black men, we got to leave the personal feelings out of business.
Right.
You know, I'm 59 now. We got to stop making personal decisions because I don't like the guy. You
Right.
got to look at what he does, look at his resume. What has he done? Now, Vernon Brown, I'm going to give you your resume. Vernon is a guy that can come in a program and turn it around. So if your program is already up, maybe you might not want Vernon. But if you want to turn your program and win, then Vernon Brown is the person that you need to call. You know,
Yeah.
so so that's where I think that we need to get away from and stop hiring a guy that opens the door to the hotel and then bring him over to your hotel and give him the keys to make him be the general manager. We got to stop doing that, coach. Stop
Yeah.
giving your keys to your NASCAR when the guy only drove Volkswagens. And maybe not even drove it. He probably was just in the back seat. We need to quit doing that because we give HBCUs a bad name. And this is what happens, Vernon, and you know this better. Once they come through our conference, get their butt kicked, then they leave and say, well, I didn't have enough shoes and I didn't have enough helmets and I didn't have enough. Go ahead, give me your spiel, bro. I know you give it to me. That's my spiel.
Well, we got a little saying we used to say all the time. We doing everything with nothing, and we all, the saying,
We can
Coach.
do a lot. We can do a lot with anything, coach. People used to ask me, the thing I hate, Berman, is when I hear coaches, oh man, we need more scholarships. I had 7, you had 26. Oh man, we locker room. Vernon, me and my brother built them lockers over there in and laid the carpet. And we tilled the field and threw seeds out and watered it.
Yeah, Jacoby told me where the weight room used to be. It's right across the hall from here, man.
Right
So
across the hallway, coach.
right
Coach,
across the hall, man.
it was in the office.
It was in the office, Coach.
And coach, we beat everybody. We beat
That's
everybody.
right.
We went 8-2 and 7-3. We
That's
beat
right.
everybody.
That's right.
Vernon
Yeah.
Brown, you just all you wanted was an opportunity. But
That's
the
it.
G man is seeing this, and look, I'm a coach. I wish Hugh Jackson well, but if he don't get it done, man, we got Vernon Brown right here waiting in the wings. There's a lot of jobs gonna be open up, but Lane ain't gonna want to. Whoo, it'd be tough, man. You don't done something in Lane ain't been done in a long time, coach.
Hey, one day at a time, Coach. One day at a time, JC. And the other part of this game was when I first started coaching at Grambling 20 years ago. We played Tennessee State in Vegas, and we beat them then. So I told the kids about that. I mean, I done walked this water before, So it was all in God's plan for us.
Wow, wow. I like you say. I remember I lost to Tuskegee, and man, I was mad at it hot because I felt that they was gonna stop me from winning the national title, black college title, which we came at number 2.
Right.
And I'm traveling on the bus and I'm hot. I'm crying. I'm hot. I cuss everybody out and talk to my brother Norris. And I'll say this to you. And we talked the other night: is don't let them beat you twice.
Right. Don't let
And
them
that
beat us
goes
twice.
both ways. Like you just
Right.
said earlier, shit, we walked in there. I knew we were gonna beat Tennessee State.
Right.
That's over. Can't go in there and play Kentucky State because they green and gold, not blue and red.
Right.
So is that some of the lessons that you talking to your players about?
Yeah, once we have our team meeting today, because I get the kids off on Sunday, I tell them 24 hours. I know most programs come back in on Sunday. Well, I want to give the kids a fair opportunity to go to church and be with their family and come back and reset, because everybody needs that time away for a minute, you know. So team meeting, we're going to speak on it. But then it's Kentucky State. We breaking down film right now. My coach is breaking down film. They had a big win yesterday against Savannah State. So they gonna come in ready to go. We got to stop the triple option. And that's what it is. We got to stop the run. The rule, coach. Stop the run. Stop the run and convert on third down.
Yeah. We got a question from Rocky Miller,
Mm-hmm.
which is the owner of Slow Burn in Cigars in Waco, Texas, one of my sponsors. He said, why are HBCU coaches expected to do more with less?
Well, I mean, when they hire you to do a job, your job is to do that job. And when you're dealing with sports, the expectation is to be the win. And then you have alumni that you know, all the time our alumni don't bring in the big money bag. You know, uh, some recruits they want you to look at, he can't play. But you have to take all that and be in the right perspective and do your best job every day. You know, that's all I can really say. Do we need more across the board? Absolutely. We need more here at Lane College, the Allen University. I mean, I can go on and on. Everybody needs more to get done what needs to be done. So
Yeah.
we just have to take it for what it is right now and keep waking up, going to work.
Well, this is one of the things that I see too, Vernon. Just to piggyback off of what you said, um, you got to become a businessman and smart with the money that you have. And I got
Right.
a lot of that from my parents. Having nine
Right.
boys, uh, I never felt like we were poor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So hand-me-downs was some family to do. So what I'm saying is, I see these guys at these smaller schools or HBCUs who trying to be Oregon, trying to be Texas. They want to get a new uniform. They want to let the kids have 4 helmets. You can't do that, coach.
No,
You can't do that.
yeah, if you don't have the budget to do it, I mean, when you send it across campus, they'll send it back. So we ain't got it, So you know how that worked too well.
Yeah.
So I mean, the only thing you can do is ask for it, and then they always gonna say, well, we can't do this, we can't do that. So at least I sent it over there. You know, but
Right. Right.
our school personally, our president and the AD. Uh, they've been doing an outstanding job trying to make sure we have everything we need. Let me say it like that. Everything we need,
Right.
and we're gonna take that and we're gonna go to work. It's not a lot of times when I go over there that I get told no. So we're in a great situation. I love my administration, support staff. Everybody's on board. So we just got to win.
Well, ain't no question. I think that's one of the things that I think HBCUs don't understand. That you got to make a commitment to your football program. You got to make a
Right.
quick commitment to your athlete program. I really feel that there is enough, but there's never enough. It is
Right.
enough, but it's never enough.
Right.
Meaning, if you spin it the right way and you have that winning football program, I know now. When I first went to Lane, it was 900 students. If you stay there, Vernon, and I don't know, I think it's maybe 1,200 now,
Yeah,
1,300.
about 1,200.
You stay and keep doing what I guarantee you already don't raise the enrollment up there. And you
Yeah.
will raise it more as you continue to have that football program win football games.
Right. Well, I mean, my president, Dr. Hampton. He's a sports guy. He loves football. He's totally on board with supporting this football program, and he knows, and he talks about it all the time. We can increase our numbers through athletics. Our graduation rate is up. You know, we had a higher percentage. I think about 85% graduation opposed to the college, and we graduating our kids. So it's all in the plan.
Yeah, yeah. Rocky asked one more question. He said, "But when coaches build lockers and laying carpet, can a coach reach his or her full potential as a coach in that environment?" You, you know, you want to answer that, or you want me to?
I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll speak on
Okay.
it.
Well, I'm gonna go quicker because we let. Well, the thing about that's all a part of coaching. Coaching is like a teacher, father, mother. That's all a part of the game. And if you weren't doing that, then you'll be doing something else. Checking curfew. Being a counselor. And I know at these other major schools, uh, they have all that in place. So my
Right.
question would be to you is then how are they better coaches than an HBCU coach when you know that you know how to get into a kid's mental, because that's what you practice. That's what we've been doing, from the time we start coaching. We get into a player's nurturing them.
Right.
That's why we. So when we go up on that level, and all we have to do is coach. And I know when I was up on that level in Cincinnati, shit, it got bored to me, of
Cause
coaching. So I would just go to clinics, and
right.
learn about the game. But the game is the same thing. You got to run right, you got to run left, and up the middle,
That's right.
and then you got
That's
to
right.
tackle, run, and block.
That's right. It don't change at no level on what you're supposed to do with basic fundamentals. Uh, well, for me answering Miller's question, my daddy was a neighborhood coach. He coached us growing up, and we did it all. We had to pick players up for practice. Wasn't no text messaging in. When practice gonna be, I had to make the phone call. My dad said, "You on the team? Then you gonna be the one calling the players, letting their parents know when practice." He gave me that responsibility. So for me, it's been in my blood gene. My dad is a general contractor, so us building and doing stuff like that's what Brown do. You know, so does it take away from you planning and preparation? Yes, it does, but it makes you better because you focusing all day on the task at hand. You know, some coaches can't operate in this environment.
Right.
Because it's too many hats you got to wear. But this situation for 20 years has made me a better person, well-rounded, and I understand a lot of different things that some people don't even never experience in life. So I'm grateful.
Right. Right. The game is about inches, numbers, torque, pressure. And as engineers, I know that we understand that, about leverage, angles,
Right.
and I think, and like you, I come from a large family. Shit, I've been around football all my life, so
Right.
it's some natural. Whereas to some other people, it might not come that way.
Right.
The black coach is just not getting the same opportunities at the end of the
Right.
day. The opportunities to fail, to be successful, we're just not getting those opportunities. And so if we want to talk about HBCUs, Coach Brown, and I'm talking to the folks out there. You want to talk about somebody coming in and making us great and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about why we're not getting the opportunities. Let's file some with the NCAA and sit in front of them, just like they do for state institutions. If you don't do so many things, we're not going to give you no state funds. Then let's
Right.
stop giving some of these PWI schools state funds until they change their hiring system. You
Right.
talking about the University of Nebraska, coach, in
Hmm.
2022, just hired their first head coach in their whole athletic program. Make sense out of that. That is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So we want to, if some of these pro guys that got these platforms, your Shannon Sharps, your Dion's, and all that, let's go to the source and figure out why we don't have that many black coaches. Instead of coming and swooping up all the 20 jobs that we have in our black schools. And then when you swoop up our 20 black schools, your assistants is not going to look like us because you
Right.
don't know nobody that looks like us. And then we
Right.
start getting these older white guys coming in and coaching. Oh, he was with the Minnesota Vikings. He was with the Rams. He was with Florida State. And there's a Vernon Brown right here who won't get his opportunity like he's supposed to get it.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Black folks, we better
amen.
wake up.
Amen.
And because we got some black men that can get it and can get after it. Your final remarks, Coach Brown.
Uh, just want to say thank you, JC, again for having me on. Thank you to the alumni for coming out this weekend supporting us. This week is homecoming. We want you guys to come out again and support us, support these young men. They're working hard. And I just ask that everybody stay safe this weekend. Let's be positive and go Dragons.
Hey, Coach, thank you very much, man. Look, boy, Lane College Dragons in my heart. I know everything about it. Tennessee State, man, to my ex-players, to my brother. Uh, y'all still holding on after 22 years, same old guys. Thank you, Coach.
All right.
We'll be talking.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I need to hear that Ray Lewis again before we get out. Can we play it again for
Hey,
game time?
we will send you that. We gonna see you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
make sure my producer.
Email me that, man. I love it. I love
Yes,
it.
sir. We definitely will get that to you.
Jacoby talk about it all the time, man. He say, man, just being around him, you want to play, coach.
Wow. But hey, look here, and Jacoby, he don't have to say nothing because man, he could do it. He could do it, and he played hard every day.
Hey, he can do it. He was hungry and he ate, and he inspired our kids while he was here, and to let them know that you can make it out of Lane College. You can do it.
Yeah.
Me and him stay in contact. We talk on a weekly basis, so we got an outstanding friendship. And I just wish him the best of luck. He's really just getting started in the coaching game, but he's willing to learn, and he's humble. So you coached him, so you know exactly. And then my other teammate, Randy Hines, used to play with Ray Lewis up there from Grambling, which was my quarterback at Grambling. So I got a lot of good stories that they done told me. They say, Cole, if you're around them, you gonna ball or go home.
But and just let everybody know who Jacoby Jones is. He's the only player in over 100 years of Lane football to be drafted, and he got drafted in the third round to the Houston Texans. So he's special to that college. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you.
About to close it out, man. I had a great weekend, State Fair. I've been telling folks for a long time, you got to give these HBCU black college coaches the benefit of the doubt. They underpaid, they overworked, they don't have the facilities that they need, but that don't make them not good coaches. If we want to fight, if we want to talk about HBCU, stop talking about HBCU. That's the little man. Everybody can talk about that. Let's talk about some of these major institutions and these major programs and stuff that don't have enough people who look like me. Let's talk about the NCAA, who we think that can make a change and do some things in these colleges. Let's talk about, the government, of it ain't right what's happening to black college coaches all over the country, no matter what level you're on. We're not getting the opportunities. And that's what we're asking for. We're asking for opportunities, not handouts. Again, to Al Wash, ALOW Entertainment, man, we had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for extending. I want to shoot a shout out to Slow Burn Waco Cigars. They also got a bus that travels, and you can smoke cigars there and relax. You can reach them at slowburnwaco.com. That's SLOWBURNWACO.com. Let's reach out, black owned. If you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot, hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you. See you next week.
Sybil Wilkes with What You Need to Know. Today, is Monday, October 3rd, 2022. Number 1. One of the most public moments of American history was completed in a private ceremony Friday, the investiture of Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. The first black woman was formally sworn in to sit on the United States Supreme Court during a ceremony that continues the tradition of very little technology, including video cameras present to capture the historic event. The moment marked the beginning of Justice Jackson's career on the nation's highest court as the new term begins, as it has for generations, on the first Monday in October. Number 2, the long-sought interview with conservative activist Virginia Ginny Thomas was realized Thursday by the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection. The wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas stood by the false claim that the 2020 election was fraudulent. The House Select Committee, co-chaired by Congressman Benny Thompson and Congresswoman Liz Cheney, has tried for months to bring Mrs. Thomas before the group to get additional information about her role in the effort to overturn the election lost by Donald Trump. Number 3, doctors who spread coronavirus lies could be disciplined for unprofessional conduct in California under a law signed Friday by Governor Gavin Newsom. The bill declares that a physician or surgeon commits professional misconduct if they disseminate misinformation or disinformation about the nature and risk of COVID-19 and its prevention and treatment. It was the last remaining vaccine-related bill of note after the more controversial measures did not pass. Number 4, the University of Mississippi is paying tribute to 89-year-old Mr. James Meredith. The tribute comes 60 years after white protesters erupted into violence as he became the first black student to enroll in what was then a bastion of Deep South segregation. Mr. Meredith was honored Saturday during the Ole Miss Kentucky football game, receiving a framed Ole Miss jersey with the number 62, the year he integrated the University of Mississippi. Number 5, what is Holy Communion? Holy Communion is a practice of Christian churches where its members and those in attendance share a sacred moment with God. It's a time of prayer and meditation to and with God, and includes the intake of a small piece of bread or cracker and a sip of wine or grape juice, representing the body and blood of Jesus Christ. These 2 items are used because those were the items Jesus picked up from the Passover table and gave to his disciples the night before his crucifixion. Read more about it in today's newsletter. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Such is true. Maturity is accompanied by wisdom and patience. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, with comedians Huggy Lowdown, Chris Paul, and social justice activist Coy Malone, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Black Voters Matter and HBCU Go TV. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.